Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, and we got one car on the bottom of the 10 car.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Bluegrass State here. We're here at Kentucky Motor Speedway for the 2013 Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series campaign. It's going to be race number 17 on our schedule, and I'm joined up here with Clint Monahan. My name is Evan Pasoko. Clint, how are you doing tonight and what are you looking forward to? We're racing under the lights this time.
Good evening. I'm looking forward to, there should be some side-by-side racing, but a lot of guys at practice are getting fairly loose and running into each other, so this could be another caution fest, which won't be good for some drivers who've had meltdowns on the forums.
And definitely, and you mentioned it's going to be an interesting race tonight under the lights. It's going to be 110 laps tonight, I do believe, at this 1.5-mile oval racetrack. But before we move on to tonight in our little pre-race show here, let's take a look back. Last week, we went to a road course, and that's something different because on iRacing, you get to really choose your path. You can go oval racing or road racing, and normally, when you're thinking of joining a NASCAR-style league, you're going for oval, so it was really interesting to see these guys at Sonoma Raceway, and we do have those results. We had 44 laps at Infineon Speedway out in Sonoma, California. It was Chris Cable. He started in first. He's going to win the thing. And then Eric Brundys finished in the second position, followed by David Lanza. Mike King took home fourth place, and it was Rhett McBride who rounded off the top 5.
6 through 10 was Ben Burnett, Guy Snyder the fourth, series admin John Abbott, and his teammate Nathan Little was in 9th, and Hip Hip Jose Gonzalez for Coons Goons Racing finished 10th.
And definitely, and that did a little bit of adjusting in our point standings, and I did mention race 17. This is a 36 race long season, including a chase, so time is ticking down in order to get to that point. And if you look at the point standings right now, it's Chad Cole on top of the points. Sitting right behind him, Dwayne Vincent, 34 points off. Then it's followed by Guy Snyder, the fourth, sitting in third place, 55 points back. CJ LaVere is sitting exactly 100 points away from them in fourth. And then John Abbott, you mentioned the series admin, he is fifth in the points, 132 points behind your leader.
Rich Jett, sixth in points with 435 points. He's followed by Ronnie Potts and Mark Bratcher. Mark Bratcher's been making a run in the points. He's moving up quick. Behind Bratcher is Jose Gonzalez. No surprise to see him up in the top 10. And followed by him is Ben Burnett running out the top 10.
And definitely, so we're back on your classic 1.5-mile oval speedway. Right now, Dwayne Vincent sitting on the provisional pole as everybody's going to finish up their qualifying times and get ready for the drivers' meeting. And let's take a look at the facts about this 1.5-mile speedway. Like we mentioned, we're in the Bluegrass State. We're in Sparta, Kentucky, in the USA. The capacity, we have 107,000 seats, and they're all full tonight for some great racing. The owner of this is Speedway Motorsports Incorporated. The speedway itself broke ground in July of 1998. It finished 2 years later in 2000, and it was opened at that point for a construction cost of $153 million. If you look at the trial in specific, we have an asphalt surface here, 1.5 miles in length, 4 turns. The turns are 14 degrees. The trial will still have some banking, 8 to 10 degrees, and a little bit of minor banking on the back straightaway. That's 4 degrees, so you're not flat at all on this racetrack.
And tonight's race is brought to you by the Bob Earl Racing Seat. It's a simulation racing cockpit designed by championship racer Bob Earl. And who better than a real race car driver to design a simulation racing cockpit? He knows what it means to be comfortable in it. Design features a fully adjustable seat and frame, additional monitor stand, and shifter mounts sold separately. Proud sponsor of the 2013 RSR Full Throttle Series, the Bob Earl Racing Seat is a high-quality and affordable virtual racing cockpit priced at just $349 plus shipping to wherever you live in this world. See it at bobearlracing.com. And now we're going to go to J.D. Webb up in our producer.
You bet. I'll tell you what, sitting up here in the booth, had to climb the stairs here for just a minute. Good evening, Cowboys. I'll tell you what, just got a note passed to me by the crew chief down there, the pit crew with the 29 car down there. It's going to be Brennan Mercer. We want to say Happy Canada Day to all our Canadian friends out there. Do not want to get out of here with at least saying that. But more importantly, I want to tell you about a race that's coming up real quick here before the Cactus Cuties. We go down to them for our national anthem on July 14th. Real important date. Mark the calendar. This is a very special occasion. This is the Morgan Schooley 2 at Watkins Glen, July 14th, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. There's a lot of information in the iRacing forum. You can go to the private leagues and hosted section over there in the iRacing forum. Look for the Morgan Schooley post over there, and it's quite lengthy. There's about 6 or 7 pages already. But ETV Live, Glacier TV, once again coming together. ETV Live is going to push the stream. It'll be on Channel 1 here. And, of course, our commentators, Yoni Bakeman, Will Vincent, and Sean Petchin making a return to ETV Live. They'll be in the booth calling the race for you here at Watkins Glen. So you really got to tune into that one. And if you can, go to the Morgan Schooley website, donate, help this young man out. You can read the story over there. It's quite a deal. I don't want to take a whole lot of time here and tell you all about it, but you can check it out at the iRacing forum in the private league and hosted section over there. Morgan Schooley 2 coming July 14th, 3 o'clock Eastern. You got to tune in for that one. Evan and Clint, take it away, boys.
And definitely a great deal. Everyone make sure to check that thing out. And as time is winding down right now, our drivers are going through their drivers meeting, making sure they know everything on the rules, and they're going to get ready to go racing here. And as we have just over a minute before we get started, Clint, what are you expecting from this race? I know you touched on the 2 wide. Are you gonna? Where do you think Calamity Corner would be, so to speak? Because I remember we did a truck race here, and it was pretty chaotic in turn 2. Do you think it's going to be the same thing?
I got a couple Calamity Corners. It's a Calamity track. Well, you got drivers going to be running on the apron on the front straightaway. If they pull what Kurt Busch did, it's going to get nasty entering 1, like it is at most tracks of this size. Exiting turn 2, there's a few bumps, especially if you're on the outside. Makes it pretty easy to get loose. And if you get loose, it's going to cause hell for all the drivers behind you.
Well, definitely. Well, unfortunately for us, we are actually under the lights tonight, unlike similar to NASCAR. No rain on the 4 class. It's a clear Kentucky night. A little bit of clouds in the distance, but no threat of rain. And we are ready to go down trackside with the Cactus Cuties. They're going to be performing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And thank you to the Cactus Cuties, and a shout out to the virtual Thunderbirds. They did another amazing show. As they do always, we keep them busy with all the broadcasts that we do here. But now the field is getting set, and it's time to go trackside for the most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
And on the pole, the number 13 car of Dwayne Vincent. And starting outside pole is going to be the number 26 of Jose Gonzalez.
Starting right behind those two, Justin Wilson and Brett McBride. Brett McBride, driver for Peach State Racing.
Starting on row number 3 in 5th place, the number 16, Steve Ritter. And on his right-hand side, starting in 6th, the number 37, Ben Burnett.
Right on the bumper of the 16 is CJ LeVere, and to his outside is the number 2 car of Ronnie Potts.
The 05, Chris Cable is going to roll off 9th, and the number 45, Krell Dresbach is going to round off your top 10.
League admin, number 10, John Abbott, starting just outside the top 10 in the 11th spot, and to his outside in the 33 is David Lanza.
Matt Lacrosse is going to take his number 21 Ford off onto the grid. Lucky number 13, and it's going to be Chad Cole on his outside, starting in 14th in his number 8.
Mark Bratchen, the Z-Loop Ford Fusion, number 38, starting 15 to his outside at number 47, Eric Arnold.
Then it's the number 82, Doug Fleming, starting in the 17th position, and starting 18th, the number 66, Brian Harvey.
In the row right behind them on the inside is Steve Gottschalk, and to his outside is another Steve, Steven Almendo.
Brennan Mercer, the number 29, is going to roll off 21st, and Doug Roth and his number 43, Petty Blue, is going to roll off 22nd.
23rd, 24th is 44 of Glenn Campbell, and the number 40 of Matt Hoffman.
Adam Roberts is going to be starting 25th in his number 88, and Ed Williams Jr. starting 26th in the 65.
Rich Jett, with a time of 5 minutes and 42 seconds for qualifying, is starting 27th to his outside, taking no time, is Stefan Marinac.
And then we also have the 04 Mike King starting 29th. Starting 30th is the 27 Guy Snyder. 31st, Jimmy North. 32nd, Joseph Hayes. 33rd is going to be Douglas Wyatt. And 34th, Nathan Little and his number 97. That's going to round off the field, but we're going to get ready to go green flag racing at Kentucky Motor Speedway. It's the number 13 Ford of Dwayne Vincent. He's going to lead us to the green flag, and the 26 Jose Gonzalez using his Chevy. A manufacturing battle on the front row is going to be starting right next to him. 110 laps to go tonight. It's going to be a long night under the book. In the book, sorry. Pace car dives down to pit road. The field is in the hands of Dwayne Vincent, and he is off. We are racing at Kentucky.
Dwayne Vincent got a huge lead, taking probably about a 10-car race lead over Jose Gonzalez and Justin Wilson. Now he's about at 15 cars, and we have a wreck in 1 and 2. We got the caution is out. Looks like CJ LeVere. Yeah, CJ LeVere got spun in the middle of 2 by Rhett McBride, who just took credit for that wreck. That'll be the first caution of the race here on a quarter of lap 1, really.
And you said that it might be a caution-filled night. That's not the way we wanted to see it start. And it looks like as the 4 of CJ LeVere and the number 15 of Rhett McBride, they were entering, and they were going through the corner. And the number 4 may have pushed up the track slightly, but the 15 came down. He came over the radio, as you mentioned. He took responsibility. Maybe he spotted and pointed something out. That's what we heard. But that set the 4 around, and he was able to go up into the outside wall, and everybody got around behind him, avoided a Brad Kozlowski incident. So they all didn't stack up. The 4's night not off to a great start, and that's definitely not what he wanted to see, considering he is trying to climb up in points as he is sitting 100 back in 4th place.
From looks of the replay, it looks like they're going for the same spot right on that that dotted line separates the lanes. But you gotta know what's going on, and Rhett McBride, you know, his crew chief has some explaining to do. Same with CJ. They got a team meeting now.
And definitely, you just mentioned maybe it's just a simple case of 2 cars going for 1 spot, and that doesn't really work out too well at such tricky 1.5-mile tracks, especially one as slick as this. We got an entertaining driver's briefing, and they stress to the drivers it's going to be a slick track. It'll be interesting to see how the race goes. But I'm going to touch on that restart there, or the start rather. You mentioned Dwayne Vincent got off to a really big start. And just to explain the start, once the pace car pulls down pit road, the field is in the hands of the position, or the car sitting in the first position, and he has the option to go whenever he wants. Now if the green flag flies and he has not gone, then all the other cars can hit the gas and try to beat him there, but the field is in the hands of the 13, and that's what gives the leader such an advantage. He can get going, and he'll change it up every once in a while to keep people on their toes, because they don't want to be in front of him. That's an automatic black flag. So definitely greatly played restart there for the 13, and things just got bunched up behind him.
Yeah, that's the good difference between iRacing or racing in any other track. Any other track, the flagman will start the race, but in iRacing, once that pace car is off, the leader can go as he pleases between when the pace car pulls, like once the pace car veers left, the leader can go, and that creates another way of strategy for leaders to do. Like they can change their timing of when they start, or you can come over the radio and say, hey, I'm going at this marker right here. It's a whole new addition to iRacing, and I kind of enjoy it. I wish they could do that when we're watching NASCAR.
And definitely, and all the teams, their radios are hooked up, so if you got a teammate behind you, you can count each other down, and that's how you can really get, say, from third up to second. Lots of teamwork, and it throws an element of strategy. And now the 4, CJ Lever, he is on pit road getting his damage fixed. He is now pulling out of the pit road, obviously to stay on the lead lap as the field is coming by this time, so he's going to keep coming through and stop and trying to get that as much fixed as possible. He has 110 laps to fix it. It's going to slowly get there. It'll never return to 100%, but he's going to try to get what he can out of that car and try to get some life back into it. But in the meantime, we are still pacing here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. You mentioned we got about a quarter of a lap in until things stacked up in turn number 1. They're going to try it again here shortly, and Dwayne Vincent still in first place. However, Justin Wilson managed to work over Jose Gonzalez as they went into turn 1 there. Jose on the high side, not the preferred lane, and Justin Wilson got around him. So it's going to be a change on the front row for when we go back green, but we're still pacing, getting ready, getting the track cleaned up, putting the speedy dry down, and getting it ready for raceable conditions.
And of course you see Glenn Campbell is in front of Dwayne Vincent. He's actually on the lead lap still. He's about, if you really count time, it's about 1 minute 45 seconds. When we go 1 to green, he'll get waved around, go back to the tail in the lead lap. We got about, looks like 1 lap and about 1/8 of a lap left before we go green here.
And definitely for some people they might say, hey, that 44 is up there, but no, that is the very end of the lead lap. Dwayne Vincent has not passed him, so he didn't put him a lap down. So as soon as the pace car gets the 1 to go, he's going to wave around, pull up to the rear end of the field, and everybody on the lead lap right now. However, the 84, Jimmy North, he's sitting on pit road taking a pit stop, as well as the 04, Mike King. So we do have some pit stops. CJ Lever still down on pit road. So we know CJ's down there for damage. Maybe some interesting strategy by those other cars trying to stay out of trouble early on in this race. But that doesn't matter at this particular point. We're going to come by here to see what the pace car wants to do, if they're going to let us go racing. You see Glenn Campbell get waved around. It's going to be 1 lap until we go back green.
And if you're also paying attention, Rhett McBride did get, he's got to cause caution. He's only got 1 left where he's parked, so he getting along the line. You'll see him starting about 32nd, depending on where Glenn Campbell is paced in line. And Mike King will be the first car lap down, so next caution, if he's not involved, he should be the lucky dog.
Definitely, he's sitting on pit road. I'm not sure what the reason is for. Doesn't look like he does have some rear end damage. He's now pulled out, going to pull up to the rear end of the field. His car driving sideways, so not sure what's going on with that team. But that's not the focus right now, because the pace car is pulling down the back straightaway, and we're getting ready to go green, and you touched on it there. 2 cautions that you are the cause of, and you are done for the night. And even if it's an incidental, we've seen time after time where you're just driving and all of a sudden the car in front of you checks right up and you have no chance, to react, and you end up spinning him out, and that's going to add a tick onto your feet, so to speak, to see how long you can go. And that's really made to control the racing, and it works for the most part, but sometimes that can get a little bit tricky. But you did mention he has 1 So that's at that point, but it doesn't matter. The pace car right now is going through Kentucky, turn number 4, 13 Dwayne Vincent, and now the 58 Justin Wilson on the front row. The pace car down the pit road. Watch the 13 for when he goes. Dwayne Vincent is off.
Another good jump for Dwayne Vincent, and you see once again that Justin Wilson, Steve Ritter, and Jose Gonzalez are still, they're playing catch up now. It's incredible start when you can jump ahead. He's about 6 car lengths right now. But let's go back to turn 2 where we see Mark Bratchers in the battle, probably back there in around 15th or 16th, Evan.
And definitely 38 up on the high side. You just saw the 8 there. Chad Cole's trying to look through, and then you got the 47, the Navy Nuke of Eric Arnold, taking a look in there. And things got pretty single-filed out, so to speak, at the front there. We had a side-by-side battle. Now we do also, if you look up in 7th position, the 10 of John Abbott is side-by-side with the 21. That is Matt Lacrosse. 21 getting a good run on the high side. 10's hanging with him, and as he gets that run down the backstretch, 21 is going to clear John Abbott. So John Abbott is going to lose that position. Matt Lacrosse up the 7th. And then we also have Ronnie Potts, the 2 car, up on the high side, having some electrical issues with his race car and dropping back.
Yeah, he's got a little warp going on, and you don't want to run up high for too long here. You're gonna murder your right rear tire. Towards the end of your run, if it stays green, you are going to be turning right most of the time you come off the corners. Ronnie Potts still stuck on the outside. He's got Dave Lanz under him. Dave Lanz is going to take the position, while the 8 car of Chad Cole takes a look, and around goes Lanza. Lanza going to try to keep it together. He backed it into the wall, spun it around. We are under caution here again at Kentucky on lap 8.
It always seems to be when you are talking about a driver, they get involved in an incident almost like a jinx. But you saw there the 33 Lanza checked up a lot. And I saw that once in the warm-up where maybe drivers let off at different points. And the 2 had a big run. Ronnie Potts was going in. And the 33 checked up a little bit. Let off to go into the corner rather, and the 2 again had no chance to react, and the 33 about drifted that through half of the turn, and he just backed it into the wall, almost kept it completely clean. That's going to give him rear end damage, not the way he wants to start off his night, but no damage to the front where that engine is, so the car should still have full power, but he's definitely going to have to get that cosmetic fix to help with aero, but he has a long time to do it because we're only on lap 9 so far out of a 110 lap race, and we've already gotten our 2nd caution.
And really, the car that comes out with the most damage is going to be Ronnie Potts in the 2. He hit the outside wall pretty hard, and when you tap the wall, it'll still mess. It'll mess your camber, your steering. You're going to be turning. You could be turning left. You could be turning about 6 o'clock right. Down. It's going to be. Ronnie probably got the worst part of this wreck. Dave Lanza did back it into the wall.
And definitely that's something that we can't see. You look at his race car, like there's nothing wrong with it, but when you slap the wall like that right on the side, there's no sort of suspension travel on these race cars. The front end is built to crumple to protect the race car and whatnot. When you smack that right on the side, that's going to mess up stuff internally. You mentioned it could be messing with the toe, and he is down on pit road right now trying to get that fixed under his caution. And he's also going to get an EOL penalty for being the cause of the caution. So that's our 2nd driver that really had nothing, obviously not intentional, just a tough break for both of those guys. And that's just the way it is in racing.
And we got our wave around, or lucky dog, Mike King. He's damaged. He crabbed out to the left side, but he's going to be, instead of 3 laps down, he's going down backstretch over right now. After being waved around, he's only going to be 2 laps down now. So a few more cautions, he'll be back on the lead lap.
And definitely, we didn't catch that originally, but in the first caution, I'm just looking at it right now, when the first incident took place, our first caution on lap 1, the 04 Mike King, he turned down to avoid it, and he turned right in front of the 84, and that would be the 84 of Jimmy North, who seems he can't buy luck.
Mike King's in the wall again. I think his car is done now. He was getting the wave around going into 1, and I don't know, it looked like he just turned right and just that wall. If you could cut a tire down, that's what it looked like happened. And Mike King's going to bring his car behind the wall. His race, if he didn't park it, he's done. If he didn't get a tow, he's done, because that car is being towed off the track right now. Tough hit for Mike King.
Yeah, definitely. I just switched to live from the replay, and he was stopped right in the exact same place that he was the first time you saw the car sidewalking. He pulled down on the 84 of Jimmy North, and he went head-on into the outside wall, and we didn't even catch that when we were reviewing the first caution. But yeah, you mentioned you guys just saw it there on the e-play. When you see the car sideways like that, he's not holding the wheel straight to make it go straight. It's at an angle, and in these turns you got to adjust it. And it just got loose and went straight into the outside wall. And he's currently sitting down on pit road. So drama, so to speak, unfolding, and not the way he wanted to start his night. The light's still on the pace car, though. If we look back up front, Dwayne Vincent has led every lap so far, but maybe the pace car is going to challenge him for most laps led at this point in the race. But we're maybe going green in the next few laps. And if you take a quick look at your top 10, Dwayne Vincent, number 13, sitting first. Justin Wilson, number 58, in second. Steve Ritter, his 16, is up the third. Jose Gonzalez is in fourth, and Chris Cable in his 05 is sitting in fifth.
The rest of the top 10, not much change from the start race. It's Ben Burnett 6. To his outside on the restart will be Matt Lacrosse, and behind Ben, starting 8th, will be John Abbott, and to his outside is 45 Kel Dressbach, or to his row behind him will be Kel Dressbach. But man on the move is the 8 car. Chad Cole is on a roll.
Definitely qualified in the 14th position. He's worked his way up to 10th. And you're going to say, well, 4 positions, that's not that much, but we haven't really had a chance to really get a lot of green flag racing in, so to speak. So he's doing good so far. Going to try to chip away at that and work his way up to the front to try to be there in contention when we get to the end of the race. And obviously with these very short green flag runs, we haven't seen anybody, or the leader, so to speak, come down pit road for fuel or tires just yet. So keep that in mind when we get our next caution or so to see what can happen down there.
Yeah, another guy that's moved up as we take the one to go here, lights are out in the pace car. Mark Bratcher's gained 4 positions, and it's pretty good for barely any time under green flag. Everybody else probably about staying pat where they are. As the pace car exits turn 2 down the backstretch at about 45 miles an hour, depending if he's got a left foot. But we're half a lap away from green flag.
And definitely we're getting ready to try this. It's going to be our third restart, second restart if you count the initial start separately. And we're going to try this one again. We got a couple laps in, but the drivers, they're all going to have different not braking points, but they're going to let off, they're going to brake at different points. And it can get things really crowded, and that's essentially what's been the cause of our first 2 cautions. But we're going to be taking another go at it. We mentioned the 13 Dwayne Vincent still in the lead. Second place car has not done too well the last 2 times because the leader has such a great advantage having control of when he wants to go, and the way that these big engines power these cars up to accelerating speeds. It almost leaves the guy in second place with very little chance of holding on unless he's your teammate. But the pace car is going to dive down to pit road. The field's in the hands of Dwayne Vincent. Everyone's going to bunch up behind him, and he is off. A wiggle from the 48 of Justin Wilson. We are green. 16 of Steve Ritter's going to look to the inside, and they're going to be side by side for second place. 3 wide behind him into turn 1.
Yeah, we got through after 5th. There was contact between Chris Cable and Jose Gonzalez. They got that settled. If you take a look up ahead, once again, Dwayne Vincent has about a 15 to 16 car lead. It's another incredible restart for him. Everybody's kind of stacking up back through 3rd through 5th. As you see, Ben Burnett drift up high. He's going to get a run off the outside turn 4, and we're going to get the start of lap 14.
He is side by side with the 21 of Matt Lacrosse, and right in front of him, the 05 of Chris Cable, side by side with the 26 of Jose Gonzalez. They made contact going into turn 3 on the last lap. You see Jose hanging in there on the bottom, side by side with the 05 still, and they're going to continue to be side by side as they work their way down the backstretch. However, the 21 Matt Lacrosse has worked himself around the 37 of Ben Burnett to hold on to his position, so to speak, but they are really stacking up now. The 05 is going to relinquish the position to the 26 of Jose Gonzalez, and they're going to complete lap 14.
Start lap 15, Dwayne Vincent with almost a full second lead. If you want to get real, technical with it, he's got about 8.5 tenths ahead of everyone else. The whole field's going too wide all the way back to about 30th, really. Ronnie Potts still trying to make his way back up now after that horrible wreck he had that he caused, really. And then, of course, take a look, Jose Gonzalez just passed the, I apologize, yeah, the 05 of Chris Cable.
Yeah, the 05 Chris Cable dropping back. He was passed by the 26 of Jose Gonzalez. Now the 21 has gotten around him as well. And sliding back a bit, maybe his car's not that good, but they haven't really got a chance to do it on race trim. We've done practice a little bit of race trim, then they qualified, but they haven't really got to experiment it with the weather and what the temperatures are in the track making the car feel. So he's definitely got to feel it out, and he'll make adjustments to get that thing up to where he needs it as we get through to the end of the night. But you mentioned Dwayne Vincent pulled away. The majority of his lead came from the jump he got on the restart, but he's currently sitting 0.8 of a second in front of Steve Ritter. They have all single filed out, at least in the top 10. But you did mention almost the top 30. Pretty much everybody was side by side for a couple laps after that restart, but that's just the nature of racing at Kentucky.
Yeah, Ben Burnett, like I mentioned earlier, you get stuck on the outside, it's gonna ruin your tires. I wouldn't say murder unless you stay outside for too many laps. But Ben Burnett got caught on the outside. You could hear the horn of the freight train go by as everybody, about 3 or 4 cars passed him on the inside. Now Ben Burnett's back in 11th behind Mark Bratcher. He's moved up 5 spots from where he started.
And definitely, however, Dwayne Vincent is now pulled in his number 13 first place, is pulled about a second lead now on Steve Ritter. Steve Ritter has dropped off maybe a little bit of his pace, which has allowed the number 58, Justin Wilson, sitting right behind him at third. Justin got a little bit closer to him in turns 3 and 4, however. Steve Ritter's gotten going again, and he is currently opening that gap for second place.
And if you look in the back of the pack, Jimmy North got spun out of turn 4. He spun onto pit lane. He will get a black flag. Maybe he'll get it cleared. Yep, he's got his black flag cleared, but there's no caution, and he had to slow down to pit speed for that black flag to be able to get cleared by series admin Nathan Bowers, who's watching over the race today. But Jimmy North's going to fall all the way back to the 33rd position. He's the last car running right now.
And definitely, he didn't get hit. He just got so loose off of turn number 4. And you mentioned no caution because he wasn't on the racing surface. He spun off the track, went through the grass, and came down to pit road, and that's an illegal pit road entry, so that would give him a black flag. However, instead of throttling through it, he actually slowed his car down to pit road speed and then drove it off, and the admins therefore cleared his black flag. So that's some good sportsmanship by him and a good call by the officials to help him get that cleared. But you mentioned he's down. He's the back of the running cars right now. Mike King's still down on pit road, but Jimmy North is sitting 26 seconds behind in 33rd position.
Once again, we're on lap 21 here as the leader, Dwayne Vincent, makes his way through turns 3 and 4. He's got over a second lead. If you want to get real specific, it's a second and about 400ths. Behind him, you still got Steve Ritter, and there was a battle. Jose Gonzalez just made a pass over through Justin Wilson, so Jose's making his way back from where he started in the second place.
In contact back in 8th place, the 05 Chris Cable just got into the back end of Chad Cole. Chad Cole sitting in 7th. They kind of stacked up there, and the 05 gave the 8 a shot in the rear bumper. Now they're going to work into turn 3, and now the 45 Cale Dresbach. 05 gets a wiggle. He's way loose on the high side. There goes the 45, and now the 38 Mark Bratcher's going to look to take away the position as well. So the 05 just had a really rough lap there. He's going to lose 2 positions, and he's going to drop back into 10th.
Yeah, Peach Day Racing's Mark Bratcher. From a little town off I-16 in South Georgia. He's making his way up to 9th. Chris Cable, I can't stress enough that burning out your right rear will tear your race apart, especially if you stay under green flag, as you see Mark Bratcher make the pass for 8th place.
And definitely now the 24, Stefan Marinac, trying to look under the 05 of Chris Cable. Chris Cable definitely dropping back quick. You mentioned on the high side, he's pretty much had to stay on the high side, and maybe not of his choice. He's going to run a little bit higher than everybody else by himself, but he keeps getting passed by cars on the bottom, and he really has no way to defend that. The 45 right in front of him, Cale Dresbach, really got close to the wall there. Now the 24 is going to be looking on the inside of the 45. Not quite. They're going to get into the throttle off the corner, and the 24 is going to dive low.
That's a car to watch out for, Stefan Marinac. Nobody really pay attention where he started. He started in the 28th position, and now he's up to 9th. very impressive. You need to watch out for him tonight. And you see 45 after he got into the wall. Cal Jusback is not doing too well right now. He's dropped another position. He's down to 11th after getting passed by Chris Cable. Hopefully for his sake he didn't get too much damage and he'll be able to keep it together.
Definitely a great run for that number 24, moving up a handful of positions. And still early on in this race, lap 25, we had a bunch of caution laps earlier in this race. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a green flag run, so great job by that 24 Ford team to start working their way up, and he definitely has a fast car that he likes.
Dwayne Vincent makes the way to get into turn 3. He's got over a 1.5 second lead over Steve Ritter. And this is shocking after his meltdown on the forums this week, where he was complaining about being wrecked after he's already won 7 races this year. So it's good to see Dwayne back out here doing what Dwayne Vincent normally does, and that's lead laps.
And definitely he's up to a 1.5 second lead now on Steve Ritter. However, 26 Jose Gonzalez is now going to be there challenging for the second position. And if you look at the lap times last time by, Dwayne Vincent ran a 31.7. Steve Ritter right behind him, a 31.8. And so did Jose Gonzalez. Now if you look at the 24, Stefan Marinak, who's been moving up, 31.7. So he is running laps par with your leader. So that 24, keep an eye on him. You said it. Charging through the field.
The best battle we got on the track right now is back to 17th and 18th. Adam Roberts is getting trapped on the outside. He just, here comes the train, the freight train. He got passed by Steve Almindo, Glenn Campbell, and once again the top spot until grip is added better to these tracks. That you do not want to be there unless it's at turns 3 and 4 at Darlington or turns 3 and 4 at Iowa. Those are tracks you can run the high side of. But everywhere else, you want to be middle to low. Especially at this track, you want to be in the middle lane, low lane. Low lane, you might get a little loose. Middle lane, you can go up there for more grip. And high lane, well, if you're trapped or you have no idea what you're doing.
And definitely that's what makes the 1.5 mile track so strategic. You can choose a lane. And just a reminder, a new thing coming to ETV Live, the Rewind BS and Back Talk radio show. Join JD Webb, Dakota Ehrman, and Jimmy North for an hour of Rewind, looking back at previous events with interviews from drivers and crew chiefs. Also, JD Webb with the authority on BS and Back Talk. The crew chooses topics from various sources to rant about. It's an all-new show, fun and entertaining. It's the Rewind BS and Back Talk show coming soon to ETV Live radio. And that first show is going to be tomorrow night, so if you guys have nothing to do, or if you guys have something to do, make sure you clear space and you guys want to check this thing out. It'll be good.
30 laps are in the books here at Kentucky. No one else is at a lap other than Dwayne Vincent tonight. This is the Dwayne Vincent show. And, Jose Gonzalez, he dropped back to about 5th place after a couple bad restarts because Dwayne makes great restarts and starts. Jose's made his way back up to 2nd, but Vincent still got over a 1.5 second lead, and he's getting larger every second.
And Dwayne Vincent sitting 2nd in points, had a rough week last week, finished 34th at Sonoma, 29 laps down. He's sitting 2nd in points. He has 7 wins this season. Could we see number 8 tonight so far? It's the Dwayne Vincent show. We're going to step away, go to a quick commercial break, and we'll see you back here at Kentucky for hopefully some more green flag racing.
If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products, reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com, and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
And welcome back. We are under caution here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. It's race 17 of the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Bob Earl Racing. And a caution has been thrown for the number 58 car, Justin Wilson. He was sitting in 4th place on lap 34 going through the turns. We see the number 8 car was behind him. He was just working his way off of turn number 2, I do believe, going to hit the back straightaway, and it fishtailed, and he overcorrected it, went head on into the outside wall, and that collected the 8. 58 slid sideways into the wall. The 8 locked it up, didn't hit the inside wall, but he flattened that nose on the impact with the outside wall. So a tough night for 2 drivers that were doing good. Justin Wilson apologized for the incident on the radio, and they're going to have to go down pit road to get those machines fixed.
That's the series points leader, Chad Cole, who got involved in that wreck. There's nowhere he could go because he's right on the back of him, and he pitted for damage, but that's still going to slow him down. He'll be lucky to get a top 10 tonight after that tough break. And definitely, well, it's our 3rd caution so far, and the leaders now are down pit road. The number 13, Dwayne Vincent, going 45 miles an hour, not a mile per hour over, and not one under. The number 26, Jose Gonzalez, right behind them. They're going to enter their pit stalls. They both need to make clean entrances, and they're going to come down to get their new set of fresh tires and get some Sunoco fuel in their cars. We're going to look, both guys have taken 2 tires, and now they're going to put the left sides up to get forward. Dwayne Vincent loves his car, no adjustments, and he's going to maintain the Larry Soft pit road. Over the 16 is going to be side by side with the 26. Tried to battle for second, he couldn't get it done, so they're going to the top 3 are going to stay the same after we work through our yellow flag pit stops. We were under caution, but we had a nice little race on pit road there. Dwayne Vincent still holds the lead. Steve Ritter, of course, in 3rd. Jose Gonzalez in front of him, but there's a big but. And the 24 car is going to make his way up to 4th. And Matt Lacrosse is going to lose position, and he's going to round out the top 5 there. But check out Mark Bratcher. He's now up to 6th. Working through the field, that's what you want to do now. 110 laps. We're on lap 36. This has been our 3rd caution of the night, so drivers are starting to get a feel for their race car. And while we're on caution, how about we talk real quick about the HD Radio Network, the home of ETV Live Radio. The HD Radio Network gives you a variety of stations to choose from, including big 80s metal, all HDR classics, all HDR country, and more. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude. The HD Radio Network stations are featured on the iTunes Radio, TuneIn Radio, and also listen on the Windows Media Guide. Listen today from the HDRadionetwork.com, or take it with you. Get the mobile app from TuneIn.com so you can stay listening to some good music and listening to the broadcasts on the radio. Even when you can't be at the screen, checking out the races live from the feeds. And we mentioned Dwayne Vincent, an interesting thing, sitting 2nd in the points right now. If you look at the point standings, he is sitting 34 points behind Chad Cole. He's leading and has so far led every single lap. Now, the person leading the points, Chad Cole, sitting way near the back with damage. So this could be a big shake-up for points if he does not get his way through.
Hey guys, once again crawling up in the booth here with Clint Monahan and Evan Pasoko. I'll tell you what, I want to talk to you again about this Morgan Schooley race coming up July 14th. Mark the date on your calendar. A little more information. Morgan Schooley has stage 4 lymphoma cancer, and this race is not about cancer awareness as much as it is helping this young man and his family. He's got a 1-year-old son at home, a young wife, and they have had recently had to move to closer to Houston, closer to the hospital where he's at. And the insurance company has canceled his insurance, and so he's fighting back, trying to cover the costs of his treatments. And right now he's fighting for everything it's worth here. So you can help out, help us, help Morgan Schooley out, and join us for the race on July 14th, 3 o'clock Eastern at Watkins Glen, New York. And Joni Bakeman, Will Vincent will be in the booth that night. And ETV Live, proud to be pushing the stream. And, of course, the Glacier TV guys joining us in the booth with Sean Peachin. So July 14th, don't miss it, Cowboy. You want to tune in and help out.
Cowboy JD Webb, thank you for coming up here, and you forgot our beer. But I'll respect that decision later. It's pretty horrific that his insurance would cancel his policy, so we absolutely hope the best works out for Morgan Schooley. We got about half lap till the green flag comes up. Of course, pace car lights are out, and Dwayne Vincent is still in the lead. Evan?
And that's right, a great cause to get behind, so really make sure you guys come and check out that race and help him and his family out. But back up front right now, it's still Dwayne Vincent sitting in the lead. We've completed our necessary pace laps. Track is clean and ready to rock and roll. The lights on the pace car are out, and we're going to see how this restart shakes out. Now it's going to be the 26. Jose Gonzalez on the front row. He is way behind Dwayne Vincent right now. He's now going to pull up next to him as they work down, and now the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car is going to take that left-hand dive right now down to the safety of pit road, and the field is in the hands of the 13 of Dwayne Vincent. How will he handle it this time? They're waiting. They're going to 16's getting up to his bumper, and the 13, Dwayne Vincent, is gone. Green flag is out.
Still a good start for Vincent, but not as great as his past restarts. As now he only has a 5-car lead in front of Jose Gonzalez, and once again we are single file 1st through 10th. And right as I say that, the 05, Chris Cable, is going to make his way right under Brendan Mercer, and he's going to take over the position of 9th going into turn 3.
And definitely almost looked like the 29 Brendan Mercer decided to almost check up a little bit, give the 05 that position. That way he can get down to the bottom as opposed to trying to hang on there and then maybe getting freight trained if he gets a little bit of a wiggle. So Brendan Mercer's going to drop back to 10th. He is the last car in the top 10. Then right behind him, 47, Eric Arnold sitting in 12th right now. A little bit of a battle there. We have the 43 of Doug Roth was looking there. He got a wiggle. He's not going to do it. Now here comes the 33 of David Lanza above Doug Roth. Now Lanza's going to try to hold on there, and they're going to be side by side as they work their way through the turn. The advantage is to the 43, and he's going to slide up and maintain the spot.
It's a 4-car battle for 13. Right now Doug Roth he's able to hold on to it, as Dave Lanza, they all tried making a pass on him, but ultimately the inside will always prevail here unless driver talent takes over. But the more even it gets, the harder it gets for drivers to drive on the inside. Eric Arnold and Steven Gottschalk, we got a battle for 11th right there. Eric Arnold barely was going to make his way in front of him, and he's going to take over the 11th spot. And we are, of course, single file 1 through 15 here on the start of lap 42.
And 91 got a big wiggle as soon as the 47 of Eric Arnold cleared. I'm not sure if that was some dirty air, which allowed the 43 Doug Roth to take a look on the inside. He's not going to do it, but someone that's ready to keep moving forward. The 33, David Lanza, took a look, but he couldn't keep his car down there, and now he is going to slide back. So the drivers are having a tough time hanging too wide. You mentioned the top line is very difficult to hang on to and not lose the position, and we haven't really seen anybody work it proficiently, so to speak, so far tonight. But let's take a quick look back up front. Dwayne Vincent's still up front, but unlike every other restart that we've seen tonight, he does not have a second lead. Jose Gonzalez about 3 car lengths behind him, sitting in second, merely 0.2 of a second off. He is catching him. He ran a little bit slower than Dwayne Vincent last time by. He got a little bit closer there in turn 3. Dwayne Vincent's going to get a better run off turn number 4, but Jose Gonzalez is applying the pressure.
And they're heading into turn 1 in the Puerto Rican prowess. Jose Gonzalez closed in. He gained about 0.04 on that, about half a tenth on that last lap. He's closing in on Dwayne Vincent, but right now Dwayne Vincent has still led all 44 laps of this race, and it's not looking like much will change as you know Jose Gonzalez is making his way up closer. And we did just get where Justin Wilson has retired from the race after starting way up front in the third position. He did bring out the third caution of the race after a pretty rough hit after he overcorrected. He's going to finish in the 33rd position tonight.
And something else to note, the 8 Chad Cole, your points leader, who was involved in an incident, stuffed that nose into the outside wall. He's currently running 21st, and he's working his way through. He just passed the 15 of Brett McBride for 20th position, so that car still has a little bit of fight in it. He's not going to give up, and he's going to battle for every single point because the guy right behind him in the points is leading right now, and Jose Gonzalez is starting to drop off of Dwayne Vincent. Not sure if he just missed his marks on that lap, but he has now dropped to 0.4 of a second off. And then Steve Ritter sitting in third, the number 16. He's a second off of Dwayne Vincent and 0.7 off of Jose Gonzalez. That's your top 3.
The only current barn burner on the racetrack right now is the battle for 13th position between Gottschalk and Campbell. Glenn Campbell has been under him for the past lap, and he's finally going to make the pass coming out of turn 4 as Doug Ross can make his way up under Gottschalk has got to find his way back down to the inside line before he gets passed by too many cars. Rich Jett, he's peeking in there. He's waiting for his turn to jump in. He wants to join the party. It's more of a, well, I won't say what it is, but once again, Steve Gottschalk stuck on the outside, and we 3 wide down the back straightaway after Doug Roth got loose. Steve Gottschalk is going to take over 2 positions in 1 straightaway. Gottschalk up to 12th.
88 was looking to make it 3 wide. That's Adam Roberts. He's going to back off. And you saw as soon as the 91 got on the high side, there's nothing he can do to get back down. He just can't hold on to his position. And now we have 6 cars, 3 rows of 2 side by side going into turn number 1. It's almost the only side by side on the entire racetrack. 91 on the bottom. So the advantage to the 91. Rich Jett is now going to slow up on the high side. They're going to be side by side. It looks like the 91 is going to prevail. And you see the 36 right there. A smart move. Almost checked up a little bit, gotten behind the 91 to make sure that he doesn't get freight trained on the bottom, say give up 1 position rather than 4 for getting stuck, and now he's going to cross him over off turn number 4. Nice move, and he's going to try to get that position right back into turn 1.
Yeah, both Steve Gottschalk and Adam Roberts in the 88 both found themselves in the right place at the right time when drivers were getting loose. And when the driver on the inside gets loose, you can throw it in the middle and you can make something happen. As we call it on iRacing, we call it the Earnhardt sucker hole. When you put it in the middle, everybody goes crazy, and then you have control of what's going on. Ronnie Potts, after bringing out that second caution, he's made its way back up to, I want to say, yep, he's in 17th right now after nose-to-nose battle to make it that way. Yeah.
And definitely, J.D. Webb telling us maybe a herd of cars around that position. You mentioned he got that position. Well, we were side by side, and they were stacking up a little bit. They've now since settled their differences, so to speak, and single file things out. And there's no real major battles on the racetrack. However, the 8 Chad Cole in 16th spot, maybe Adam Roberts trying to work his way around there. The 8 gets a big wiggle off turn 4, and Chad Cole has a good race car for the circumstances. But this whole group behind him has been working up, so he's got to make sure he can hang on to that spot. So keep an eye on that 88. Adam Roberts is slowly chipping in, trying to set up the 8 to make that pass.
Yeah, Chad Cole, he's doing a lot with very little. He's getting everything out of that race car and then some. And if you look up back in first place, Dwayne Vincent has gained about 0.8 on Jose Gonzalez. He will hold on to the lead after Jose made that pretty hard charge to get within 0.2 after that start, but it's now over a second, and he gained 0.2 after that last lap. But check out who's in third place, Evan. It's Stefan Marinak after starting way in the back, 28th position to be exact.
He was the first car to not qualify. He didn't even qualify. He started 28th spot. He's sitting in the top 3 halfway through this thing. That car is quick. I'm going to take another look at his lap times. He just ran a 31.7. Dwayne Vincent, 31.6. That 24 car is on the move. And if we get another caution here, and he gets a shot at Dwayne Vincent here on a restart, watch out for that. But Dwayne Vincent, when he's up front, he gets that advantage, and he doesn't look back once he gets the jump there on the restart. And he is just so fast, obviously has his setup dialed in.
you also have to when you factor in you have to factor in their times, or where Stefan started, and to only be a 10th off after where he started, even after those pit stops to make his way through the field, you could say he's been running the better lap times. The only real battle, of course, we have going on the track right now is Chad Cole past Steven Gottschalk. He's made his way to 15th. Every position he gains is a surprise for us, not because of Chad Cole's talent, but because of the horrible car he's driving right now after that wreck that he had with Justin Wilson.
And definitely the nose of the Ford Fusion is a little bit more flat than the Chevy because they got that big grille, but I mean, he really flattened that thing on the outside wall, and I'm looking at it, the hood's still crumpled and stuff. If you look from his cockpit, he's looking out over his hood, he can see the sheet metal all bent up, but he is still going and gaining position, so kudos to the number 8. He is definitely not giving up and battling for every position, and he's actually moving up through the field.
And just in case you've tuned out or aren't really paying attention, you are watching ETV Live. ETV Live is the only choice in simulation auto racing broadcasting. We're pretty much the best. Since 2008, ETV Live has produced over 700 shows for over 220,000 viewers. That's more than the population of Talladega on a weekend. We at ETV Live have pioneered and engineered some of the best innovations in online auto sports racing thanks to our producers, and with 3 pricing packages available, you can make any race you have available for you. Please book yours today. We at ETV Live are the industry experts. It's the only choice. Contact us at www.etv-eplay.net, or you can email us at etvlive@etv-eplay.net.
And definitely, well, you touched on this, so to speak, at the beginning of the race. You mentioned there's going to be drivers going down on that apron. Well, we're starting to see that. I know the 47 was going down there. That's Eric Arnold. He took a swing at that on the front stretch. So they're starting to look for speed as the tires start to wear off. And we're also going to get a report of someone that's not going too good. The 27, Guy Snyder, has lost a lap. He is the second car a lap down, now sitting in 32nd position. He is wicked loose, just trying to hold on for dear life to go back in there. Maybe got a bad set of tires, but he's going to definitely want to make adjustments. He is just chasing that race car all the way up the hill in the turns.
Yeah, it's either a bad set of tires or he got caught up on the outside. The outside lane is a right rear tire killer. Chad Cole, another shocking move for him. He's going to make his way up to 13th position after passing Rich Jett, and right before that he passed Eric Arnold. 2 positions, 2 laps for Chad Cole. He's in the 13th position, still making his way forward.
He has just passed the 37 of Ben Burnett for 12th position. This 8 is on a roll with damage, and normally it's almost like the incidents that don't look as bad really mess things up underneath the car, knock the rear end out of place, or mess up the toe and you're done. But he hit that thing pretty fair into the outside wall in that incident, and I thought he was going to be hanging on for dear life like C.J. Oliveira. C.J. Oliveira got very hard contact earlier in the race in that first caution, and he is sitting in 25th, just trying to hang on to any positions and stay ahead of people that wreck out of the race, trying to hang on and salvage some points. But that 8, I don't know, he's moving, and he's gained he's caught up to, rather, a pack of 3 cars, so we'll see how this shapes out. He is running lap times equal with the race leader right now, Dwayne Vincent.
Yeah, this green flag is great for Chad Cole. This long green flag run we've been on, we're about 6 laps past halfway point, and if you do the math, we're on lap 61 of 110. Dwayne Vincent still out front. He's led, well, 61 laps of 61, and that does not seem like it's going to change anytime soon. And Steve Gottschalk's going to make us, if we're going to go back to the 14th position, we have a barn burner on our hands. Gottschalk's been trying to get around Ben Burnett. He couldn't hold on to it. He drifted back a little bit. He's going to be 2 car lengths behind Ben Burnett as we go across the lap 62. And we have a slow car on the inside that they're all going past.
In an interesting sort of strategy, maybe, but the 47 of Eric Arnold has come down pit road. Now the 29, Brennan Mercer, is going to be coming down pit road this next time by, we hearing on the radio. So is this some sort of green flag pit stop? It hasn't been too long of a run But that's not really the point. I mean, when you're going to come down, you're going to set yourself up so that your pit stops line you up for the end of the race. However, Brendan Mercer, not a good entry there. I saw he slowed down a little bit too much on entry, made lose a little bit of time, and especially on green flag, it's so crucial. But we are starting to see some green flag pit stops.
And we were just talking about the fourth Guy Snyder to be born. Lap 60, he coming out of turn 2, he got not a little sideways, he got mega sideways, and then got sideways again, and still kept it off the wall. He's not having a good race. Guy Snyder stuck a lap down all the way back in 32nd place.
Indefinitely. So you don't want to get caught, say, if you come down pit road early. We're seeing Steven Almindo, Rhett McBride, Eric Arnold, Guy Snyder the fourth. They're all a lap down because they've come down to pit early. What they don't want to see is a caution to come out during green flag pit stops, because that puts a handful of cars laps down. So luckily in NASCAR rules and the Real Sim Racing rules also incorporate wave arounds and lucky dogs, but that's definitely not what you want to see. Dwayne Vincent is now pulled to a 1.6 second lead over Jose Gonzalez. His car is just too fast at the moment, really, for anyone to handle. However, the 81 Steven Almindo is slow entering turn number 1.
Yeah, Steve got he got loose coming off 4, spun it around, got it straight. Yeah, he got it straight off, or he spun around off 4, got it straight after spinning around twice. He's back up to speed. I hate to say it, but look for him to pit again to get fresh tires after that. Tough break for Steven Almindo in the 81 car.
Well, it was a great job of him to get on the brakes and spin that thing around in a 360 at over 100 miles an hour and keep it going, because there was a train of cars moving right above him, and if he spun up to the top, that was not going to end well. So he may come down to get some tires, may have flat spotted him as he made it down on the apron, and he is just drifting around the track. He nearly just wrecked it there on the back straightaway. 81, big problems.
Yeah, as you look going into 3 and 4, he's still getting real sideways. He's making a pass, but things are not going well right now. Steve Almindo is praying for a caution. And Dwayne Vincent, now he's up to a 2-second lead, and he's up to a 2-second lead because Jose Gonzalez has made his way down pit road. Stefan Marinak from 28th to 22nd. 26 spots. That's pretty incredible here.
That's right, he's passed more cars than his car number, and he is still yet to pit. Dwayne Vincent is still yet to pit, and the majority of the field, rather, is still yet to pit. So we're going to see if there's any advantage coming down pit road early to see how maybe their fuel calculations line up. But that's up to the crew chiefs, and I could not do that job. Too many numbers for me. But it's going to be interesting to see how the different strategies are playing out, because Dwayne Vincent is not looking like he wants to come down pit road anytime soon. He is just trying to run consistent lap times and maintain his 2.2 second lead now over the second place car, which is the number 24 of Stefan Marinak. We also have Steve Ritter right now, 16th, still in 3rd place. It seems like he's been there all night. John Abbott moved up to 4th position after he started in 11th, and then Mark Bratcher in the 38th, sitting 5th.
Evan, check out who's in 9th. Chad Cole. After being involved in the 3rd caution tonight, I thought he had damage, but now he's made his way up to and he makes a pass for over Chris Cable, going for the 8th position across the line right there as we are 70 laps through. Chad Cole could be contending again, even with damage.
I mean, I'm looking at his race car, and there's cosmetic damage, and he is passing. When he dropped back, like you said, and I thought he'd just be hanging on at the back. And when he started to gain positions, I was thinking maybe it was just the slower cars in the back that maybe still need to work on their cars to get them to the right point in the race. But he has now worked his way into the top 10 on his own, under green, with a damaged race car. That number 8, sitting in 8th place right now, is on a mission.
Another driver who's come down pit road is Rhett McBride from the number 15 Peach State Racing Ford. He's one of my teammates on Thursday nights. You can watch him, Mark Bratcher and I, we were all on Peach State Racing. You can see us Thursday nights in the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series, broadcasting live here on ETV with Tim Terry and, oh wow, it just blew my mind. Yeah, Dakota Ehrman, I apologize. They do a great job on Thursdays. Same time as here on Mondays, but you can also watch me, so you must watch.
The privilege of watching you is just the added bonus. But definitely make sure to check that out Thursday nights. It's the second Real Sim Racing league, so to speak, that is shown here on ETV Live. They also have a bunch of different leagues and stuff that they run that aren't broadcasted. They also have an Outlaw Truck Series and a Midnight Thunder team, or Midnight Thunder League rather. So make sure to check them out. That's Real Sim Racing. Go to realsimracing.com and check out their other leagues. And if you want to get involved in a great organization, this is definitely one to check out. And we're still keeping an eye on to see what our leaders are going to come down pit road and when they will. It's still Dwayne Vincent by 2.1 seconds over Marinac.
73 laps are completed here. We had a position change last lap. Matt Lacrosse passed Mark Bratcher for the 5th position. He's not his first time being in the top 5 tonight, and it's of course not his first time being in the top 5. This is pretty normal to see Matt Lacrosse up here. He is the Truck Series points leader, so no shock to see him doing well. Still waiting for more cars to go down pit road. Jose Gonzalez is your first car up 1 lap down if the caution were to come out. So far it's only been Jose Gonzalez, Brendan Mercer, Eric Arnold, Rhett McBride, and Steven Almendo. They're the only ones that have pitted so far.
The 44 car nearly wrecks it on the front straightaway. We just had a note passed that he started back in 33rd and he worked his way to 11th, about to get into the top 10. Well, not anymore. He was working his way forward, and he somehow managed not to wreck it coming off turn 4 on lap 74. Just got real loose off 4. We've seen that a lot, and he wiggled it down the front straightaway, managed to hang on to it, and everybody around him managed to get by without further incident. But as he comes by the next scoring loop, he is going to drop a handful of positions, and he is sitting 14th.
Our leader is still Dwayne Vincent as he comes up on Guy Snyder to put him a 2nd lap down. Dwayne, though, he's losing time to Stefan Marinac, who's gained about half a second since we've last talked about him, really. And Stefan is going to be the biggest challenge here for Dwayne Vincent if Dwayne wants to get number 8 tonight. Steve Ritter made his way up to 3rd, and John Abbott's still holding on to 4th like it's his life.
And another person that doesn't want to see Dwayne Vincent get his 8th is the 8th, sitting in 8th place, and that's Chad Cole working his way through the field. And also the 24, Steph Marinac, very impressive. He's worked his way from the bowels of the field, really, right at the back, 28th at the start. We've been following him all night long. He's sitting 2nd, and you mentioned he has gained a little bit of time. He dropped off a little bit that last lap. Now he gains a huge chunk, a 1.7 second lead for Dwayne Vincent. Not sure if he's getting ready to come in pit road or if his car's really just going away on this long green flag run. Also, coming through lap traffic can get involved in that, and you want to be careful getting around them. And if you're at the top, you don't want to accidentally wreck yourself and wreck somebody else. But Stephen Marinac closing.
Another driver with having a good night is Dave Lanza. He just made the pass for Matt Lacrosse to make his way into the top 5. While we still wait for more cars to make their way down pit road, it looks like drivers who have pitted, they're banking on this to stay green while they make the faster times right now, while leaders are still on old tires. And Dwayne Vincent just made the pass around Douglas Wyatt. Douglas Wyatt will now be a lap down. It's probably a good time for Wyatt in the 12 car to make a pit stop.
And it really shows you maybe the 2 different fuel pit strategies, because it looks like we saw 1 car come in, we didn't know if it was a bunch of damage, and then we saw maybe 5 or so cars pit within 10 laps, and now we haven't seen anything, so it looks like it's separated the 2 different strategies. But Stephen Marinac up front still closing, and you mentioned if a caution were to come out now, we'd have a handful of great race cars put a lap down. And when you're running the long green flag laps at a loose track like this, it's real slick, and the tires of those people that have not pitted yet are starting to wear away. I wouldn't get too comfortable sitting there a lap down, but right now it's Douglas Wyatt is the first car lap down in his number 12. So
Stefan Marinac, he is definitely the best car on the racetrack right now, especially where he's come from. He's only about 1.8 seconds behind Dwayne Vincent. He's been gaining every lap since. And the top 10 hasn't changed much. Chad Cole still I don't want to say the shock of the race because it's Chad Cole. He's always, you turn on ETV to watch Mondays or Thursdays. Thursdays he'll be subbing, and you will always see Chad Cole in the top 5. He was a great sub for me, but Chad Cole with his damaged race car, to put it nicely, is still in the 8th position, and Mark Bratcher's making his way back. He's falling back, and you can see a pit stop happening soon for Mark Bratcher.
The 81 has also come down to pit road to service his race car. That is Steven Almendo. He's on the back straightaway, working his way back up to speed, and give another spot to Chad Cole. He has passed the 38 of Mark Bratcher. The 28 Matt Lacrosse has pulled a little bit away. That was almost a 3-car pack for the time being. So Chad Cole, 7th now.
We got 2 more drivers to come down pit road. Rich Jett and Doug Fleming. They both have pretty good. And Ed Williams Jr. is just now making his way down pit road. So that's 3 drivers we've had pitting right there. And it looks like Ben Burnett. Ben Burnett's now on pit road, and Steven Almendo. He's having a really rough race. He's once again in his pit stop, like you mentioned there, Evan. Dwayne Vincent. He's now making time on Stefan Marinak. So. Looks like Stefan has used up everything he could out of that car, and he's gained more out of it than any of us ever could have. Dwayne's got about 2-second lead as we see Steve Ritter's now making his way down pit road, letting everybody know so John Abbott doesn't run him over because they are only 3/10 apart.
And definitely, this is one thing to look out for also. You're going to have slow cars blending in with traffic off of turn number 2 on the backstretch there on the apron. And these lead lap cars, what if you're too wide? You're going to be side by side down the back straightaway, and the car's trying to get up to speed. So with all these cars a lap down, I mean the 21st place position rather is the number 4 of CJ LeVere. Now the 05 Chris Cable just said he's going to come down pit road. So everyone's come down pit road, but you're going to have a bunch of lap cars, and they have new tires, so they're going to be a lot faster. So things can get really close here during these really wide green flag pit windows.
Yeah, John Abbott he's made his way down pit road. He's dropping down in the standings. Look to see Vincent and Marinak come down pit lane soon. David Lanza now, because after Abbott made his way down pit road, he's up to 3rd place. And Mark Bratcher's made his way back up to 6th with everybody pitting. Another guy made his way down pit road, Jimmy North, Brendan Mercer, and Eric Arnold. They've all gotten 4 tires and and enough gas to make it to the finish.
In the 8, Chad Cole is going to assume the 4th position, this being from pit stops. We see Jose Gonzalez come down pit road. He came down a while ago, so he's sitting 21st, so he's going to definitely want to work his way back up to the front. So we're starting to see another almost cycle. Dwayne Vincent now coming down pit road. He's going to watch his speed. He timed it perfectly. Now the 44, Glenn Campbell, is going to come down too, which is going to put the number 24 of Stefan Marinak. He's going to get his bonus point next time by if he stays out. And he's going to lead his first lap of the race, which means it's also going to be the first lap that Dwayne Vincent has not led as he is down pit road.
The only 2 drivers tonight who've got bonus points, Stefan Marinak and, of course, Dwayne Vincent. Stefan Marinak from 28th to 1st. It only took 8 laps, but with Dwayne Vincent, it's going to take that long, especially when you start that far back. Another guy that's made his way down pit road, Steve Gottschalk. He's still on the lead lap, and also pitting is Mark Bratcher this time by.
And once the leader comes in, it's going to encourage pretty much everybody else to come down to 21. Matt Lacrosse, who was 4th, he's going to come down pit road. We're also seeing the number 27 of Guy Snyder, the 4th. So this could start to wrap things up here for green flag pit stops, and no caution just yet possibly. Looks like we're going to make this thing through green. The 24 still staying out on the racetrack right now, leading a couple of laps. Chad Cole assuming the 2nd position as he is yet to pit. When he comes down pit road, his car's only going to get better and better because they're going to keep pulling on that sheet metal and slowly repairing that race car. So definitely watch out for them. We now have 12 cars on the lead lap. Everybody else that is not on the lead lap has taken their pit stops already.
90 laps are in the book, and while we are on our pit stops, Nathan Little will get tapped coming out of turn 2. He's going to save it, but I was just going to mention he's made his way up to 6th place. Look for him to come down pit road soon. That was very nice save by the 97 of Nathan Little. Looks like he got touched by, I want to say, Doug Roth. And look who's now made his way up to the top 5, even though he's on pit road. That's the 88 car of Adam Roberts in his Ford Fusion.
And definitely Cale Dresbach in the number 45, sitting in 3rd position. He is in a battle right now, so to speak, with the 36. However, they're not on the same lap, so that not really worrying about it. The 45 is going to let him go. It looks like he is slowing down to make his way onto pit road possibly this time by, and he is going to pull down onto the apron to hit pit road. Doug Roth currently sitting in 2nd, which means that Chad Cole has hit pit road. His number 8 machine has just pulled out, and we are about through with green flag pit stops, but unlike many races, almost a shorter race, so to speak, at a 1.5 mile track, 110 laps. There's under 20 laps to go.
Yeah, we're on lap 91, and you have drivers that started in the back but made their way up front thanks to pit stops. They're banking on a caution to come out. It's drivers like I mentioned, Nathan Little and Joseph Hayes. CJ Levere, he's still stayed out, along with Matt Hoffman, and Kel Josbach is actually in the pits. So the only drivers that stayed out are, again, Roth, Marinak, Little, Hayes, Levere, and Hoffman. So they're banking on a caution, but they need to pit soon because they're on very old tires. Everybody else is on new tires within the last 5 laps.
Well, they're not going to have any challenge from the other drivers. I mean, if they're going to actually get their lap back by themselves, they have to pass them and go around the whole lap. The 4 CJ Levere has just come over the radio. He is going to be coming down pit road. He is a pretty damaged race car. So most of these drivers are trying to stay out. You mentioned Nathan Little saved it. If he didn't save it and a caution came out, especially if one came out right now, we'd only have 4 or 5 drivers on the lead lap. However, the 4 just come in. Now your leader, the 24, Stefan Marinak, coming down pit road, and the 12 of Douglas White is going to join them this time by 2, and we're about to wrap things up here. And once they get back up to speed, there's going to be just about 10 laps to go, and they're going to have to battle this thing out for the end. Can anybody challenge Dwayne Vincent?
New leader, number 43, that's Doug Roth. He's going to take the lead next time by unless he pits. But yeah, he's got it this time by as Stefan Marinak comes in, and Nathan Little will still stay out. But Dwayne Vincent, he's pitted, and he's still on the lead lap. So it's looking pretty good for Vincent. Even if the caution were to come out now, it's good for him and CJ Levere. And if you look at Jose Gonzalez, John Abbott, Steve Ritter, Chuck Cole, and Rich Jett, they will round out the top 11. And those 11 cars are the only ones on the lead lap. If the caution were to come out now, those guys would stay on the lead lap, and things would be looking pretty good for them.
And right behind Dwayne Vincent is the number 26, Jose Gonzalez. He's about a third of a lap behind Dwayne Vincent, so he is definitely going to want a caution. And 2 other cars that are going to want to see a caution is going to be the 8 of Chad Cole and the 24 of Stefan Marinak, because we know they have some fast race cars, but they haven't really had a chance to take a shot at Dwayne Vincent. And Dwayne Vincent, once we cycle through our green flag pit stops, he will reassume the lead, assuming there isn't a caution. If there's a caution, Doug Roth and Matt Hoffman still need a pit. So if you're going to look at it statistically, Dwayne Vincent in the lead right now. The 43, though, Doug Roth is slow on the back straightaway, pedaling it down the back straightaway. He's slowed down a lot more than other drivers. I don't think he's out of fuel. He's just being very precautious here. So that's going to leave him. He's the only one to pit so far, so Dwayne Vincent's going to reassume the lead next time by.
Yeah, Doug Roth, with the way he slowed down, he's going to lose a lot of time that way. He's going to notice after all these other drivers have new tires, from the time they've gained from having new tires compared to him on old tires, plus the amount of time he wasted slowing down, starting on the back straightaway. It's going to make a big difference. As now everybody bet down the 25th is going to be on the lead lap. Things are making their way back to normal.
Now the 40, Matt Hoffman's going to hit pit road, and I think that's just about going to wrap up our green flag pit stops. Doug Roth is in his stall right now, servicing his car. He's going to put 4 tires on it and get going. And this time by the stripe, Dwayne Vincent, his number 13 Havoline Ford Fusion Gen 6 race car, is going to come by and reassume the lead. And he's going to try to finish this deal out. He's run perfect. He hasn't made any mistakes to this point. And he's going to try to close this thing out as he is working lap 99. He's going to come by next time by to get 11 to go.
new leader, old face in this race. That's Dwayne Vincent. We got 12 laps to go as he heads down the back straightaway. He's got about a 3-second lead over Stefan Marinac. Stefan's got about a second and a half lead over Jose Gonzalez, John Abbott, and Chad Cole. But Chad Cole's all the way up to 5th with a wrecked race car in the USG Sheetrock Ford.
And definitely Stefan Marinac sitting in 2nd place. And the caution flag will fly. We have a wreck on the back straightaway, and this is going to give the number 24 the chance he wants, and it's going to put the 8 there also sitting on the 3rd row. The 05, Chris Cable, taking responsibility for the incident. I'm looking at the replay here. He just got loose off turn number 2, it does appear. Spun down, and he overcorrected it, spun it out, kept it off the inside wall, but by doing so he slid back up into the racetrack, and that caused the caution. He managed to keep it off of everybody and everything else, but the caution flag will fly, and this may change everything.
Dwayne Vincent in the 13 did not want this to happen. He had a huge lead. He was going to run away with this, but now the caution's out. It's gonna be a real close race because Stefan Marinac is the only other driver that's been running as fast lap times as Dwayne Vincent has. And then, you know, if you're on new tires like these drivers are, you still gotta watch out for Jose Gonzalez too, the Puerto Rico prowess. It's gonna be a nice race now. These last 10 laps here, as we're on lap 101 of 110. And Dwayne Vincent's still in the lead, but he's got, once we go green, he's going to have competition from Stefan Marinac and Jose Gonzalez.
He just needs to hang on here for this final restart, and hopefully the number 26, Jose Gonzalez, doesn't try to go down low and take his air off him, and he'll spin it out like Jimmy Johnson here as the laps are closing down. But he does have control of the restart, and he has been spot on all the restarts so far tonight. He's just got to get one more, and then even if the cars behind him are faster, we've seen the 24, Stefan Marinac. You mentioned he started in 28th position. This guy is flying, but with about a second lead or so that Dwayne Vincent gets alone on the restart, does the 24, if he is faster, have enough time to catch him? And also, does the 8, Chad Cole, have anything left? As now know, the 8 is coming down pit road.
And he's going to fake him out. He's not going to come down pit road, but who is going to come down pit road? That's Chad Cole in his USG Ford. He's the only one to come down pit road, and that might be a mistake, and you don't really ever see that from Chad Cole, but since he's now on pit road, he's going to get at least right side so he can pass cars that haven't taken time. And Ed Williams, he's not going to make his way onto the lead lap, but we are on lap 102 here. About 2 or 3 laps left before we go green.
A handful of cars, including Chad Cole, came down. Chad Cole gave up that 6th position. I was just going to mention maybe he has a shot, but he pitted. But a bunch of other cars pitted also around the back of the field there. Maybe seeing if the 4 tires right at the very end can help them out. But we're going to see how this thing shakes out. It's still going to be Stefan Marinac up there with Dwayne Vincent. The light's still on the pace car. We are hoping we're going to get the one to go this time by because the drivers want to get as much racing as possible and want to get going as soon as possible because there is no green-white checkered in iRacing. If the caution comes out where there's not enough time to get back going, this race is done. So the sooner we go green, if there were another caution to come out right away, we might get a 1 or 2 lap shootout. However, if we keep pacing here and we get a lap in, it may end the race. And Dwayne Vincent just wants to get to that restart and get going and get out of here. He was going to run away with it. You said he does not want to see this caution. No, he didn't want to see it. So he's going to see if he can close this thing out and take the victory home. His 8th win of the season if he can do it.
You know, I heard you were stuck at an airport yesterday. You were right down the road from me, stuck at Hartsville-Jackson. Well, if you wanted to watch the race, you should have been broadcasting. You could have listened to ETV Live Radio, which is on the HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network gives you a variety of stations to choose from, including big 80s metal, all HD Radio classics, all HD Radio country, and more. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude. HD Radio Network stations are featured on iTunes Radio, TuneIn Radio, and also listed in the Windows Media Guide. Listen today from HDRadioNetwork.com or take it with you. Get the mobile app from TuneIn.com. That's TUNEIN. TuneInRadio.com.
Funny you mentioned it. I have the TuneIn Radio app on my phone so I can listen to the broadcast. However, your airports want us to pay for the Wi-Fi, so that wasn't happening. But no, unfortunately, I couldn't make it in for the broadcast last night. I was supposed to be doing the team series here on ETV Live at a road course. Ooh, that would have been interesting to see. But back to our current situation. Dwayne Vincent, he has led the majority of laps. The only time he hasn't left, or hasn't led, rather, is when he came down pit road. So will he be able to finish it off? We've seen the 24s fast. 8, Chad Cole. We thought he was going to be in contention. Well, he's pitted and dropped back to 17th. So let's see how this thing shakes out. We're looking for the one to go this time by.
Well, Chris Cable was, the one who brought out that caution. Nathan Bowers, the admin over this race right now, just gave him the end of longest line penalty for causing that caution. It's his first cause caution, so he will not get parked. He'll just get sent to the back of the line. That's where you go when you do bad stuff. I've only been sent back there twice on Thursday nights. But we're on lap 103 as these laps slowly tick away while we're in the caution. Maybe when we get to the start-finish line, we'll get one to go.
And definitely, well, the drivers are doubled up in the white, or not the white flag. I'm getting ahead of myself here. The white flag, so to speak, of the caution. Lights out on the pace car, and we're going to go green next time by. They are doubled up. We're going to quickly go through our top 10. The drivers have to be careful of wheel spin. The front row, Dwayne Vincent, Stefan Marinac, Jose Gonzalez, John Abbott on row 2. Steve Ritter and Matt Lacrosse, row 3. Rich Jett and Mark Bratcher, row 4. And Ben Burnett and Adam Roberts are going to be row 5. And we're going to take a shot at this.
Yeah, Ronnie Potts, Steven Gottschalk, they're peeking in the top 10. They hoped, of course, who doesn't hope to make their way into the top 10. Of course, Chad Cole with that big error making a pit stop. He's going to start 17th, but with at least right side tires, he should be able to get close to the top 10 as we go down the back straightaway, getting ready for hopefully the last green flag of the race.
Well, let's find it out. They're going to come by to take lap 105. That will be 6 laps to go. The Ford First Racing Mustang pace car is running into the middle of the track. He's going to take that hard left-hand turn down to pit road. Let's see what the 24 can do. The field in the hands of Vincent. Vincent goes off the 24. Stefan Marinac spins his tires. He's going to lose the position. 26, Jose Gonzalez is going to move up into the second place. Not what he was looking for.
There's many cars that spun their tires in. We have somewhat of a wreck going into turn 2. Everybody gets it straight. We're still in the green flag, and it's chaos on the track right now. As we do have a caution on the track now, with 6 laps to go. Dwayne. Yeah, the caution was brought out by the 97 car. It's a tough break for Nathan Little. He's under a lap down, and the 4-car Rhett McBride, number 15, he got stuck in the fence.
That was a huge incident. Now it'll be a matter of if they can get it cleaned up in time to go. And I'm looking, the number 45, Cale Dresbach, was sideways. I'm still trying to figure out what happened here. It looks like he was coming on the front straightaway. The 47 car, that would be Eric Arnold, move up, clip the 45 in the front end that caught the 2. 45 was sideways, and everybody was still bunched together because we just went green. They all bunched up with each other. And I'm looking at the 15, Rhett McBride. He got spun to the inside. He got knocked by the 12 and got stuck into the wall, got hit by, I do believe it was the bright yellow car, the number 27. And the 15 got stuck in the catch fence. He was just hanging out there, showing off, I guess, to the fans his race car, getting them a up-and-close experience, checking it out. But he got stuck in the catch fence there, and he is no longer on the racetrack. They had to remove that car with the tow, and it's sitting behind the wall. Now the question will be, can we get green again? You mentioned that, or Race Control went over the radio before the restart and said, watch the tire spin. Well, we saw a whole bunch of it, and it ended up bringing out the caution essentially, and one person that spun the tires at 24, Stefan Marinac. Maybe this actually benefits him because now he's going to be starting in 3rd position.
Yeah, Stefan has a chance to redeem himself, but really, if you look back at that caution, Eric Arnold, I don't know, it's a careless mistake by him. It didn't look like he was seeing the 45 who was up ahead of him, and he just came up and just nailed him, and that caused a huge chain reaction. We ended up with Red McBride, who had nowhere to go. He got caught in the catch fence. He had to park his car because he was stuck. That's the end of Red's night. He's going to finish 29th after having... It's just been a tough race all around for Red McBride. You gotta give props to him, though, for sticking it out, but Red McBride's going to finish 29th tonight.
And definitely now drivers discussing the situation. Will we get a green flag to finish this race? Or are we going to finish it under caution and Dwayne Vincent is going to lock up his 8th win of the season? That is 8 wins in the season. He's definitely going good, but he's still in 2nd place in the points. And it's actually Chad Cole sitting behind in the second place in points. He is the all-time Real Sim Racing he has the most wins in the history of the Real Sim Racing, so obviously a veteran of this. He knows how to get around, and he has moved up to 12th after pitting on that last caution. So Dwayne Vincent says we're going to get 1 lap of green. We're sitting here looking at the pace car lights. Everyone's trying to maybe get doubled up here. Lights still flashing. We're currently on lap 107 of 110. We're going to come by to get the 3 to go, and we're going to see if the pace car lights do turn off. Everyone's set up like they might do it, and the lights will stay on.
If we go green flag, it's going to be a green-white checker, which will cause for chaos, but us as broadcasters and y'all as viewers are going to love this restart. It's going to be a big battle here between Dwayne Vincent, Jose Gonzalez, and Stefan Marinak, and if you're Steve Ritter, John Abbott, you're looking for... I mean, you don't want people to wreck, but these guys want people to wreck. They want to get up to the front. They're just sitting back waiting for something to happen. They've kept their cars clean all night, along with Rich Jett.
In the 47, Eric Arnold, you mentioned maybe a careless mistake, maybe a miscommunication with the spotter, but he has officially been declared the cause of the caution. So if or when we get the 1 to go, he's going to get his EOL penalty. Now, if you're looking here, we're on lap 108. We're going to come by for lap 109. If we do not see the lights on the pace car turn off here, then we are not going back green because it takes a lap of the lights off, and then we're going to go green. So if we do see him turn off, it's going to be a 1-lap shootout. And I don't know if anybody can challenge Dwayne Vincent. He gets that big jump. You can eventually work and chip away at that time on a green flag run, but it's going to be really hard to do it on 1 lap. But heck, we've seen the 24 spin the tires. Anything's possible. So we're going to see what's going to happen right here.
Yeah, I'm looking back right now. Matt LaCroix has been the top 10, top 5 all night, but his car is smoking. He's all the way back in 22nd. I'm looking for the cause of that, and you know he's charting his car around, hoping it makes it to the end. But I'm still. Oh, he was involved in that. Why? Yeah, he's been running around his car with engine damage after the huge wreck that we had on 105. Matt, and he's coming down pit road right now to try to fix damage, at least enough to make it for the last lap. And we will get the 1 to go here. We're on lap 109. 1 lap to go for green. The pace car lights are off. Looks like the stewards here have decided we should finish this under green, and we will.
It will be a 1-lap shootout, and regardless how fast you are, you could run laps 2 seconds faster than Dwayne Vincent, but he controls the restart. So you're sitting Jose Gonzalez is really the worst position, really, because you have to look up to your left. You can't be in front of him when the green flag flies. Stefan Marinak's going to be all over his bumper. You really need to nail this restart if you even want a shot at getting this victory.
Yeah, there will not be another caution in this race. Any wreck that happens, this could be white flag, so green will stay out. Dwayne Vincent, he's led, I want to say 9/10 of the laps, and of course he wants to make that where he finishes the last lap on the lead. He finishes last lap in the lead. But Jose Gonzalez, Stefan Marinak, they're going to make it tough for him. We're in turn 4. Take it away, Evan.
Well, let's see what happens. The 13, Dwayne Vincent, is sitting there in the lead. The first racing Ford Mustang pace car is going to get ready. There's the dive. Everybody's keeping their eye on Dwayne Vincent. The 26 get up high, and the 13, Dwayne Vincent, he is gone. He's going to get a huge, and he nails the restart just like he needed to do. He is about 13 car lengths, so to speak, over the second place car, and they are all bunched up there for second. A big battle, contact there for the second place. This is a nitty-gritty battle there. check these guys out. Hopefully they're going to make it back to the checkered flag. The 26 Jose Gonzalez hanging on to second. 24 dives in on the 16 for third. They're battling up back there, but that doesn't matter. The position that matters is up front. And the number 13 of Dwayne Vincent, he's going to come by the start-finish line here. He's going to lead the lap that matters, lap 110, and he's going to win the 110-lap race here at Kentucky Speedway. 8 wins this season.
Dwayne Vincent, he's your winner tonight after almost not racing for us this season. This is win number 8. I'm sure he's regretting that post in the forums now where he went full meltdown last week, but he is the man of the night here. This was his race. Nobody else really. It doesn't look like anybody else stood a chance, especially on restarts. Dwayne has done great on restarts. And, Jose turns him for fun. But congratulations to Dwayne Vincent. He is your winner tonight here at Kentucky.
And definitely, well, he was a dominant car. Well, we're not going to see any burnouts because he got turned there and went for a funky ride. Well, the race may be done, but we're not done quite yet. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back with a post-race show, and we're going to talk to our top 3 drivers, hopefully, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, when we got one car on the bottom of the 10 car.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
And welcome back to the Kentucky Motor Speedway. We just saw 110 laps of side-by-side and a race full of strategy, but in the end, it was Dwayne Vincent. But right now, I'm down here on pit road with the number 16 of Steve Ritter. And Steve, just climbing out of the race car now. You started this race up in 5th. That's definitely going to help you at a race like this. You managed to get 3rd. Talk to us about the atmosphere of the race.
Well, I thought it was one of the better ones we've had, but, man, that was a hell of a race between me and Marinac there, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely walk us through that last lap there, because besides Dwayne up front all by himself, you guys were really getting at it there for second.
Yeah. Well, I think it was 3rd. Jose kind of took off for 2nd, but all I wanted to do is not spin the tires, and I know Stefan's a tough guy. I give him a lot of credit for driving me clean there at the end. That was a lot of fun. He's a quality driver.
And definitely we saw several self-spins on the exits of the corner, and we saw guys wiggling all night. How was your car handling?
Actually pretty good. We got a lot of practice in this week because we knew this track's tough. It is real loose coming off the corner. You got to really work the throttle. So we did good. And congrats to Dwayne, man. He's tough.
Well, you're sitting 14th in the points before this race, and you're definitely going to want to try to make your way up there before you get to the chase, top 10 making into the chase there, and a good night and a good way to start working your way up there. What's your strategy as we work through the rest of the season?
Top five. I missed last week. My mom was in the hospital up in upstate New York, so I had to take a trip. And so I'm back this week, and we've been consistent on these mile and a halves. We've been doing good. Daytona next week, it'll be kind of a crapshoot, but we'll see.
Daytona is definitely a whole different story, but definitely a good night for your team. Who makes it happen for you?
I got to thank you guys, obviously, Bob Earl, CarMax, BSD, Mike Main Computers. They all helped me out, and I appreciate it.
Well, that's the number 16, Steve Ritter. He's going to come home with a top 3 finish, and I believe we do have Clint Monahan. He's caught up with our 2nd place finisher.
Yeah, I'm here with the Puerto Rican prowler, Jose Gonzalez. Jose, congratulaciones en tu carrera.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you came a long way tonight. Describe your plan tonight, really, for racing.
Well, my plan was to just try not to, work my tires too much. I actually was trying to go for the long run, but I had nothing for Dwayne there. He was fast on the start and fast on the long run. I had nothing for him.
Yeah, again, you had an outstanding race. You were top 3 whole race after you dropped back after the start. After you dropped back, do you have any doubts that you'd be able to make it back up front?
Well, I pitted, I short pitted, I guess you might call it that way. I tried to pit like 15, 20 laps before everybody else because I knew I wasn't going to catch Dwayne. So I thought, by getting the new tires, I would, and I actually was passing everybody, but I'm not sure. I think he didn't take any tires, and he just, when he went to the pit, he just started right next to me and just blew by me. So, congratulations to Dwayne. He had a tough week last week. He deserved today's win.
As always, you make it tough for anybody to win. I know you make it tough for me on Thursdays just to race for the top 10. Who are your teammates? Who made it happen for you tonight?
HCSO Sanitary New Jersey, part of the Goons racing team, and Hippie's Paint Shop. And I want to say hi to my girlfriend, Yareli Manning. She broke her ankle this week very bad, and she's having surgery tomorrow. And I'm 100% sure she's not watching, but I just want to say hi.
You also said La Chicana es muy caliente. That's Jose Gonzalez, the Puerto Rican prowler. Evan Pasoka's caught up with the race winner.
And we're down here in Gatorade Victory Lane. The Gatorade's flying and confetti everywhere as the number 13, Dwayne Vincent. He's going to crawl out of his Ford. And Dwayne, you had such a dominant car tonight. What was the difference between you and the other competitors?
Practice.
Keep it short and sweet. It's definitely, practice makes perfect, they say. And, well, you were near perfect tonight. You almost led every single lap. The only ones you didn't lead were when you were pitting. And let's talk real quick about those green flag pit stops. You stayed out a little bit later than everybody else. Was that just your fuel window, or you just coming in when you felt comfortable?
Well, I really thought a caution was going to come out. I stayed out a little longer than what I really wanted to. And I was a little nervous about that. I thought I might have messed up on that one, but it worked out.
And on that last restart there, you had the 24 Stefan Marinac right next to you. He climbed 26 positions to get there, and he spun the tires. How were you able to keep your composure and nail the restarts all night long?
Man, I was so nervous about these late restarts on old tires like that, light on fuel. And it's really just working the brake and the throttle, man, so you feel it bite on the track, and you're able to go with it. But it works out.
Well, Chad Cole sitting in front of you in points, finished in 11th. He salvaged a good position from what happened, but you won. That's your 8th win of the season, and you're going to gain a handful of more points after a rough week last week, and you're continuing to climb up there and battle for that first position. Now, next week, we're going to Daytona. Tell us how you're going to try to stay consistent and slowly work your way up in the points.
Yeah, hopefully we can get about 4 of us teammates together and run like we did at Talladega. We had a little deal going on there, and it kind of worked out for us. Ritter won it. So hopefully we can do the same at Daytona, and after that, just keep working at it, keep practicing, and just try to stay clean, man.
Well, that is Dwayne Vincent. He took home the win here at Kentucky Speedway, the dominant car of the night, and he's going to pick up his 8th win of the season. And Clint, we saw an interesting race. It looked like it was going to be a caution-filled night at the beginning, but then we got it greening, and a caution at the end really shook things up a little bit. What was your analysis on the race?
It was a... Oop. Was that for me?
Go ahead, Dwayne.
Yeah, I'm like you. I thought it was going to be a caution-filled race, and then we had this long green flag run, and I said, man, this is awesome. And then the late race cautions, that happens. But overall, it was a wonderful race. Everybody did well.
Yeah, man, you took this took me after those first 2 cautions. After I predicted that we'd go caution filled, we had 2 really long green flag runs, and it's good to see that because I know there was a lot of discussion on the forums about and the Monday night series about and the Cup series about not many green flag runs as we've been having on the Thursday night series, but that y'all had a great run tonight. And again, congratulations, Dwayne, on your win tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. And yeah, wrecks are going to happen, man. But it seemed like everybody did well, from what I could see.
Well, definitely it was a great race tonight. Well, Kentucky in the books, and next week, Daytona International Speedway, 80 laps at the 2.5-mile high bank super speedway. That's going to definitely throw a curveball into the standings if you're on the edge there trying to make it into the chase. Clint, you're driving, you mentioned it in the Thursday night, so you're going to know this a little bit better than mine. What kind of mentality do you have to take going into a super speedway track when you have to worry about points?
Well, you also worried about points, but your biggest problem right now is super speedways until the aero package is worked on is that you have to have your drafting partner, your dancing partner. As I said in broadcast before, is you got to have it's prom night, and you got to keep your dancing partner or make sure you have one or have another one on backup. And if your dancing partner leaves you, you're going to be stuck. And you're making switches every couple laps so you don't blow up when you get 300 degrees. And that adds another dimension in strategy. You just got to make sure you have the guy you want to work with, and this guy you work with has to be quick on the changes when you enter corner. They have to come right back down. You don't have to tap the brake too long. And then they have to stay right on you no matter what happens. They have to be on your bumper like their life depends on it.
And definitely, well, that's going to do it for this race. It was a good race here at Kentucky, and I do believe we are joined once again up in the booth with JD.
Cowboy.
Hey, the Cowboy. I tell you what, if I got to get my $20, I got to mention Adam Roberts' name. Just mention his name so I can get my $20. But anyway, I tell you what, Cowboy, we're going to be talking about this race here tomorrow night. Me, Jimmy, North Dakota, Herman. You want to join us on the Rewind BS and Back Talk radio show tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And we'll be talking about all the drama and everything that happened here at Kentucky Speedway here tonight, along with a whole lot of other rants and things. So 9 o'clock on the ETV Live radio. Don't miss it, Cowboy. Take it away there, Evan.
Well, thank you. May everybody make sure to check that out tomorrow night on the radio. But until then, we are done from here. Thank you guys for joining us for the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series sponsored by Bob Earl Racing. Make sure you tune in Thursday nights, Friday nights, Sunday night, every night of the week to hang in on our radio show, listen to some good music, and don't go away. We'll see you next week at Daytona. I'm Evan Pasoko. We were here with Clint Monahan. We'll see you guys next week.